Hey guys, Miss Warren here. Today I wanted to talk to y'all about artist trading cards. Artist trading cards are small samples of your artwork, oftentimes used to trade with other artists or people who are interested in your art so they can have a small sample of your work. For our class, I like each of my students to make a series of artist trading cards because they're small. They allow you to experiment with many different techniques, and so I can have a small sample of everyone's artwork to fit in the art show. Now, first, I'm going to talk about size. All the cards must be 2.5 by 3.5 inches so they can fit in the card holders that I have for the display in the competition. The next thing I want to see is I'd like to see you use multiple techniques on your cards. So for example, this one is collage because they cut out the dictionary page. We had an old torn up dictionary and we were using it for collaging, cut it out and glued it down to their card. Then they stained it with coffee and they stamped it for a main object there. Here, this person did watercolor in the background. Then they did some stamping. Then they collaged some sequins on. Let's see if we can find some other examples in here. They did some collaging, some drawing, and some coffee staining with a little watercolor around the edges. This person did some Sharpie and some watercolor with a little bit of drawing around the edges there too. This person did drawing with white ink on a black background, a metallic on a black background. They did a stamp, then they outlined it, then they drew on there with Sharpie and added watercolor. So lots of different techniques. So on your cards, I would like you to, on each card, use at least 2 to 3 different techniques. Also on each card, ideally, let's see if we can take a look at some of the ones. Okay. Ideally on every card, I want to see a main object, a background, and extra decoration. Now, not all of these have that. I put them in the art show regardless of whether or not they have that. But if you want to make an A on this project, I am asking for a main object, a background, and extra decoration on each one. This is a good example down here, main object, background, and extra embellishment or decoration. So with that, I'm gonna show y'all a few techniques to get this started. Okay, so I have cut a bunch of cards for my students that are 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So on this one, I took Sharpie and I drew on just the plain white card. Now, I think what I'd like to do is I have some transparent tissue paper to make it look like this ship that I drew is sunken at the bottom of a murky green ocean, and I'm gonna glue that over the surface. Now, if you wanna add anything to the surface of your card, you wanna cover the whole card in textured paper or black paper or tissue paper, you need a little paper a little bit larger than your card. Then you're gonna take scissors and you're going to cut it to where it's just like a centimeter larger than your card. And I'm going to cut off the corners of the tissue paper. This will make it easier to fold over. Then I'm gonna get a little bit of glue on here. I forgot to grab my regular glue, but I'll use some glitter glue because I think that might look interesting. So I'm gonna put glue over the surface of the front of the card where I really want it to stick. I'm gonna smooth that glue out with my finger. Hopefully this glitter will kind of look like maybe bubbles or something in the background. Then I'm gonna center and place my paper on there and smooth it out. Oh yeah, that glitter shows pretty good through there. And it makes it look like if you trap some air bubbles in between where the glue is, it makes it look like it's a little more faded. Smooth that out all the way around. Then on the back, if I want it to be really stuck, I'm gonna get a little bit of glue on each edge, and I'm going to fold that edge over to make those edges nice and clean. I'm going to get a little bit more. Fold each edge over. Okay, now on your cards, I do want you to put your name on the back. I don't want you to put the title of the artwork, the date, and your teacher's name. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before I forget. So title, under the C, the artist name, so there's the title. Artist is Miss Warren. The date is 2/16/22. And for your class period and teacher, because we might have, the other art teacher might have cards in the show as well, we don't want to get them mixed up. I'm just going to put class period, since I don't have a class period, and teacher. So that's how I want the backs labeled. Okay, so now I have the front. I have a good background. I have a main, but I don't really have a main object. This kind of looks like a main object, but I think I need a little something more. So I'm going to layer it up with this little merman that I drew in colored pencil on piece of paper. I'm going to finish cutting him out. And I'm going to put him in the foreground on top of the tissue paper. So he stands out. I'm trying to think if I want to put him high up or low down. I think I just want to put him right there. Okay, so let me get some glue on the back of him. Smooth it all out with my finger. Make sure it covers it all, especially the edges. It's okay if I get a little bit of glitter on him, I don't mind. I have regular glue too, but I think I like the look of this little extra glitter. Makes it look, the ocean look bubbly. Hold him down for a few seconds. So there we have my merman in front of the sunken ship here. I feel like it needs a little more extra decoration. So I'm gonna get some sequins and I'm gonna glue sequins, kind of like they're bubbles coming up. In my class, we have lots of options for different things to do. We have stamps, we have coffee staining, we have watercolor, we have Sharpies, we have glitter glue, we have crayons, markers, colored pencils. So using multiple techniques on a single surface is kind of what I want to see. Put this one a little bit lower. Okay, I think that one looks done. I'm going to put it off to the side to dry. Now here's another one that I was working on. I haven't glued down the sequins yet. So just like I covered the background with the tissue paper for the one up here, I covered this one with black paper. Then I went through with metallic colored pencils and drew the shine lines, and then I cut this large metallic star in half and glued it down. I think this needs a little extra decoration and embellishment, so I'm gonna add a few of these sequins as well with the glitter glue. Oh, that stuck to my finger. So it looks like there's kind of an explosion of shininess behind it. There's I have a little sequin star here too. Kind of repeat the star concept. Do one more shine mark down here, even though this one's dark. I think I might do a few little lines of glitter glue kind of make it look like there's shine marks coming off of these, like they're exploding. Okay, so there I have 2 cards with main objects, backgrounds, extra decoration using multiple techniques. By the end of this project, I'd like each student to have at least 4 cards to turn in to me. Let me know what you think about the assignment, and I look forward to seeing your work.